Hey everyone, so for today for evening prayer, I'm going to suggest two Psalms that you can read if you want. Psalm 104 and 105. It's about the divine joy, God's divine joy. And for today, I'm going to share a reflection. And if you don't like it, please just move on, because I'm not going to change, unfortunately. And don't report me to Facebook, and don't block my LinkedIn account. It's not hate speech. It's my reflection. So if you don't like it, just leave it. So I want to share with you why Rhodesia was one of the greatest nations on earth. So, and Canada shouldn't do this, because if Canada tries to do it, it will just collapse. So what Rhodesians did, they built roads where there was nothing. They had good security. They had the greatest army in the world, like the greatest. We were the undefeated army. People came from all over to join the Rhodesian army. People came from America, from England. They left their countries and they came to join our army. And we had good buildings, good infrastructure, good schools. We were integrated, like we all went to school together. Blacks, whites, Indians, coloreds. We all went to school together from nursery school. Not like from junior school or high school. We all went together. So that's why we're confident, because we were not brought up to think of ourselves as unworthy. We were not brought up to think of ourselves as second class. We were allowed to think of ourselves as equal. And Rhodesia preserved all its wildlife, looked after its wildlife. There was no paying to go into the game reserves. It was all free. And even like now, when you go to certain places, they don't allow you to pick the plants and all of that. They become like protected species. But when we were growing up, you could do whatever. Nobody hid, because the game rangers and the people who looked after the parks were so good that it's like, if you want to take a plant, just go and take it. You can grow it at home if you want. So you didn't pay to go into the game parks, the game reserves. Everything was looked after through the government. And we had a very, very good system in place. So we learned in the schools, you grew up in the schools with sports, in the public schools. I'm not talking about private schools. You grew up in the schools with sports, with music, with writing, with history, geography, mathematics, English. And because they were our neighbors in high school, Afrikaans. You had the option of taking Afrikaans and French, but not the Canadian French, the French from France. So I wanted to take Afrikaans, but the class was full. Everybody wanted to learn Afrikaans, so I never learned Afrikaans. And you had to participate in sports. It was compulsory. There was no, I'm not participating, I don't want to. There was nothing like that. You had to participate in all the sports, in running, swimming, high jump, long jump, hurdles, everything, diving. You had to do everything. There was nothing saying that I'm not doing it. You had to do everything. And you had to participate in the races. Even if you came last, it was okay, as long as you participated and you contributed. And there was none of this like, oh, I don't want to help others. It's not me. I don't want to do it. You had to do it. You had to. You had to help others. And I don't know why I'm thinking of my Rhodesian troops this week, but I am. I used to stand outside my dad's shop. I used to stand, and they used to come in their tanks. They used to sit outside on the tanks, and they used to smile at me and wave. And I used to wave at them. I wasn't scared of them. My internet cut out. It must be the weather. But yeah, I used to smile and wave at them. And I loved the gardens. I loved our gardens. We used to grow marigolds and sweet peas. My grandmother, my dad's mom, she used to grow those. Sweet peas in the summertime. We didn't have bluebells. When I went to England, that was one of the things that fascinated me. All the bluebells and the daffodils that grew wild. But we had rose gardens, nice fruit trees, mango, lemons. We had a macadamia nut tree, peaches, nectarines. We had a grapevine in the garden. And yeah, it was just a very different lifestyle. And why I said Canada shouldn't try it? Because first of all, they don't have the weather. And secondly, they don't have people like me. No, when we tell them, they don't listen. And they isolate themselves. They talk for 20 years. They've been talking about building pipelines. They don't build them. So anyway, our dollar, the Rhodesian dollar, was stronger than the British pound. That's why they didn't want us anymore. They didn't like it. They like to be on top, the Brits, the white people. They like to be on top. They don't believe in like multiculturalism and all that. Deep down, they don't. So, you see, we were the best. We're still the best. In Canada, they don't like tall poppies. They say, don't be too good. See, don't be too good. Don't outshine everybody. Everybody must be the same. So go to America. That's why. So, yeah, today I remember my Rhodesian troops. And they were so young, some of them. They were young. Very, very young. And I pray for them. I would like to meet, if there's survivors, I would like to meet them. I knew some of them. Some of them are in my own family. They went to fight. I used to go to say goodbye to them when they were going and pray for them to come home. My dad couldn't go because he was sickly. He had heart problems. So I have a lot of respect for them. They're my cousins. They went to fight in the war. And also some of our friends went to fight in the war. So that's how it was. Yeah, I miss my Rhodesian troops. They're very different. Some of them were like 16 years old, 17 years old. But they kept me safe. Very safe. See, the Rhodesian troops should help me to get into a good paid job. That's what they should do for me. But these people here are not helping me. I miss my Rhodesian troops and my sweet peas. It was a nice life. But even though in the war sometimes it was scary, we had bombs in Harare. I used to see on the news, there was a bombing today outside of Mikkel's hotel. Yes, so that's why when we used to travel, we had to call them and tell them, we're leaving now, then we're coming there to your place, so that they could time it. There was no cell phones those days. And yet somehow we survived. Just imagine. We didn't need to be in constant contact 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, day and night. So it was nice. Anyway, maybe you can think about what you're grateful for your life. I'm grateful for Rhodesia. Very. I used to have big stickers on my suitcase, on my walls, everywhere saying, Rhodesia is super, all over. And I used to wear t-shirts with Victoria Falls, and I was very, very proud of my country. Very, very proud of it. If I went anywhere, I couldn't wait to get home. I couldn't. I loved Rhodesia. I loved it. So maybe one day God will let me meet not my family, obviously I know my family, some of the other Rhodesian troopies. We had a place in Zimbabwe, Bulawayo, We had the park where they had all their planes, all our Rhodesian aeroplanes. I used to go there. I used to play on those planes when I was small. So, yeah, that was it. So maybe you can reflect on your evening reflection, what you are grateful for. Well, one day I want to go back to Zimbabwe and live there. See, I want to go back one day.